Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us today for today's program. My name is Lizette Gabriel, and I work as a librarian in the Business and Economic Department here at the Los Angeles Public Library. Welcome to today's presentation called Outsmart Disasters. Is your business prepared for an emergency or disaster? This program is brought to you. Wow. This program is brought to you by the okay, there seems to be an echo. So I have to, here, hold on. Okay. 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 Um, okay, sorry. My apologies for that. So it's brought to you by the Small Business Development Center. Okay, so hopefully that worked out. My apologies for the technology is snafu there. So again, okay. So the program is brought to you by the Small Business Development Center, SBDC, and CalOSBA. Our presenters for today are Colette Moore, Director PCR SBDC, and Susana Ramirez Munoz from SoCal Resiliency Training Coordinator, Cal OSBA. This program is designed for small business owners and nonprofit organizations in California to learn how to create a personalized plan that will help them face any unexpected event, minimize risk, and recover your business quickly. Just to make sure, any housekeeping details first. If you have any technical issues, please put them in the comment box. If you have any questions during the presentation, please put them in the comment box and we will address them at the end of the presentation. This program is also being recorded and will be available on the library's YouTube channel after it ends. And now I pass the presentation over to Colette.
Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to today's presentation of Is Your Business Prepared for a Disaster or Emergency? We really thank the LA Public Library and Lizette and team for bringing us on today with this valuable information to help you to be prepared. We're all going to face all kind of emergencies and disruptions to our lives and our businesses over time. And the more prepared we are, the more quickly that we're going to be able to recover. And so I'm so excited to go forward. We welcome you today as PCR Business Finance Small Business Development Center. So we are one of 7 SBDCs in the LA area here to serve small businesses, to help businesses to start, grow, succeed, and survive. That's the key. You guys have already been through so much disruption over the last 5 years, from pandemics to earthquakes, fires. We've all been through stuff. And so we want to make sure that you are ready, that you have a firm foundation, and that you will not be shaken off of the base when the time comes. I'm so excited to share that we have a specialist today, Susana Ramirez Munoz, who is our SoCal Resiliency Training Coordinator with Cal OSBA. And Susana serves as a SoCal resiliency coordinator, and she does trainings all around the area in California. Southern California is her focus area, leading disaster preparedness and resiliency training. We all want to be resilient here in Southern California, and we want you all to be able to strengthen and navigate those disruptions. So Susanna is well prepared. She's been with CalOSBA for over 13 years in media and marketing with Univision, LA Times. She has a dual bachelor's from UCLA and an MBA from Cal State LA. And I'm Colette Moore, and I'm the director of PCR SBDC, and a former business owner as well at the small business. And I am well acquainted with power outages and construction issues from a neighbor that was continually disrupting our operations. And so that wasn't even the worst stuff that could happen. And so we want to make sure that we're prepared for those that are the easy things to change and address, as well as the harder things. So for those that don't know, the SBDC, 1,000 centers around the country here to serve small businesses and help create economic vitality in different in your community, wherever you reside. And so we're providing consulting, which is one-on-one advising, training, workshops like these, and then also resources to help small businesses throughout the LA County area and LA in general, Southern California. But all of these services are provided at no cost and no catch for you. It is your great, wonderful taxpayer dollars here to help you to grow and succeed. At PCR, we have a variety of specialties and areas of consultation, from legal consultation. You need someone to take a look at your contract. Don't just depend on AI for that. Putting your business plan together. What's your story? How do you tell it to other people? How do you market that with AI? How do you do social media that can really help? We're working a lot with procurement right now and government procurement. And for those interested in getting ready for sports and entertainment, the LA Olympics, FIFA, let us work with you to be able to carry you through and prepare so that you can make money and find an opportunity there. Your financials together. Do you know your cost? Do you understand what your plans are? Do you have projections for the coming year? Let's make sure that you are ready and on a firm foundation. Accounting, we have a QuickBooks specialist, and then also we do restaurant and hospitality specialties. So helping you with costing, looking at helping you to put your menus together based on the stars and the dogs, and then sustaining your investment and making sure you have food certifications as well. Then also construction. So these are just some of the areas that we're consulting in here. The LA network for the SBDC has a broad range of specialties. And if we don't have it at our center, we are happy to direct you and refer you to another center to help fill in some of those gaps. Wanted to share that we do have upcoming resource events coming on, from Dreams to Dollars with City National Bank, and that's funding for your business future. That's going to be October 30th. It's in person with a light breakfast and lunch. Come and hear how you can put your finance together, and there'll be bankers available for discussion as well. We hope that you'll join us. Then we have Action Brand Secrets. Hear about some new marketing tactics that might be helpful for you. And this is with Mark Imperial from Action Brand Marketing, and from near death to a multi-billion-dollar brand. And for those that are looking to network, whether you're a wallflower or, the center of attention, there's a place for all of you in networking and making sure that you can connect with the right partners and the right people to further and advance your business. But it's all about creating relationships. And our advisor, Joseph Duncan, is prepared to help you to develop a plan for your next networking event. We also have Karen Blackwell, who is able to share with you increasing your profits with AI. Oh my goodness. If you're not using AI, let us show you how you can ask some great prompts to help advance your business, and some questions for you to think about as you are looking at your profit. It's hands-on. Get your pencils and paper out, have your financials ready, and be ready for a demonstration here that will help you grow your business. Then, as we come to November, we have a wide variety of workshops available to you, lots of financial fitness workshops. We want you to have your money ready, understand how your money works and how to grow that. It's critical for your business, and it's not an afterthought. This is something that you can do, and we're here to help you. So we provide a whole bunch of financial workshops. Take them as many times as you want, and then go back and see your advisor on them. Also, things like business structure. If you have not structured your business yet, how can you do that? Whether you have an online business, a physical business, we can assist. Discipline entrepreneurship. What's this path? How does it look? Productivity and time management, critical for a small business. As a small business owner, I know there have been times when maybe I spent my time doing something that wasn't as helpful to move the business forward. So start putting your plan together now. And as you go into the new year, you will have a wonderful plan for your time management, balance sheet, self employment. All of these things are here and ready for you. Proof of concept is a workshop we're doing with the library, because the library has so many resources. And so we're excited to partner with LA Public Library again in the next couple of months to do a proof of concept. Is your concept ready? And librarians are going to be on to help. And we're going to have a dynamic session on resources and how to test your concept. So look for that coming up. And then finally, we'll be doing compliance with bookkeeping and then grow with Google. So lots of workshops. You take these, this is the whole goal. Take it, get the knowledge, now apply it to your business. It's not just to go out into the air and the atmosphere, time to apply. And so we'll be talking later as you go through this workshop today, be thinking about how you can start right away to utilize these concepts to prepare your business. And so with that, we're going to start, and I'm going to have Susanna come on and start with our sharing the creating a resiliency roadmap that will help your business to survive and thrive in a disaster. And if you're not thriving, you're going to be in trouble. And Susanna is just the one to help you get in position to do that. Susanna, welcome.
Thank you, Colette. Um, so good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for the LA Public Library for hosting, and Colette and her team, and Lizette for the invitation today. Um, and thank you again for joining. I'm happy to be here to go over Outsmart Disaster Workshop, which is brought to you again by California Office of Small Business Advocate, CalOSBA, in partnership with PCR. Together, we look forward in guiding you through this important step towards strengthening your business against any disruptions. And disruptions take a toll on not just on small business revenue, but on the economy of your community. So small businesses are the backbone of California's economy, and we want to help protect yours. To follow along the resiliency roadmap, the booklet, the forms, along with the resources and links that I'll be referring to here today, are available for download online at www.outsmartdisaster.calosba.ca.gov. You could go on there and download it. And if you prefer a physical one, we could help you with that. I believe Colette has some in her office, so you could get some physical ones, and they are available in English and Spanish. And when I refer to a business interruption, a disaster this could mean a large event like a natural disaster, such as an earthquake, a wildfire, or something smaller like a power outage or road closure. It's simply anything that has a negative effect or a negative impact on your business operations. Um, So we are part of the Governor's Office of Business Economic Development, and part of our mission is to represent and elevate the voices of California's 4.2 million small business owners. Our office connects small businesses and owners and nonprofits with the resources and information to start, manage, and scale your business. We have a statewide business support network of partners to help you expand access to capital and new market opportunities. And an example of these partners is PCR SBDC, which you heard from Colette. We also support disaster awareness preparedness initiatives to increase the resiliency of our small businesses. And this is why we're here today. So, what is Outsmart Disaster? It's a program that helps identify potential risk builds business continuity plans to better prepare and be able to pivot when disruption does occur, so that you can bounce back quicker and remain open. Um, so so you want to plan ahead. So Outsmart Disaster is gives you the it helps small businesses plan ahead for any disruptions with simple tools and resources to build a customizable BCP, which is a business continuity plan. Protects operations with strategies and actionable steps designed for busy uh, owners and ensures the safety of all employees. It recovers faster with a strong business continuity plan to minimize financial loss and builds resiliency so a well prepared plan reduces risk and speeds recovery. So Allsmart Disaster is about taking actionable steps um, and during blue skies, as they say. So when you are ready when the gray skies do come in. So why should you have a business continuity plan or a BCP? So according to FEMA, about 40% of small businesses do not reopen immediately after a disaster. So you want to protect your business at all costs, and being prepared with a plan can help you with that. It will protect again your business from unexpected disruptions. In a crisis, you won't have time to plan. So, um, you know, having a disruption plan in place, you and your staff will know what actions you need to take ahead of time. It ensures the safety of your employees and customers because safety is a priority. Proper training helps your staff know what to do in an emergency by reducing the risk of injury and chaos. And in fact, businesses that have conducted regular emergency drills report a 70% increase in staff confidence during an actual emergency. Um, it minimizes financial losses. As you know, disasters can be incredibly costly, and by having a disaster preparedness plan, you can minimize financial loss by quickly resuming operations. You want to stay open fast. And lastly, maintaining customer um, trust and satisfaction is very critical. By being prepared, you show your customers that you are reliable and committed to their needs, which in turn fosters loyalty and long term relationships. So, in summary, business continuity ensures maintaining operations to get through disruptions, and resiliency ensures growth. Adapting and innovating allows the business to rise stronger and more flexible. So we will go over 6 simple steps to create a business continuity plan. You have these, again, these booklets. You could download them or you could have these physical ones as well. So step one, identify your risks. We'll talk about identifying the potential risk in your local regions, what resources and tools are available to help you accomplish this, and how to document and prioritize those risks. Step two, establish clear communication protocols. For example, having a contact information for your employees, your suppliers, your vendors, identifying who are your key contacts and where to keep these lists stored. Having a communication plan is very important. On step three is understanding your operations. What are your most important processes? Are they documented? What equipment do they require to keep operating? Step four is hazard mitigation planning. What can you do to reduce the impact of these events to your business? Step five would be understanding your insurance and finances. What type of insurance coverage are available? The importance of having an emergency fund, line of credit, and how to get disaster assistance if needed. Step six, creating and testing an emergency plan. Develop plans, how to train your employees, test the plan, and updating the plan. So overall, we want your business to build resiliency through these preparedness actions. And each step has a form that goes with it, so it could just simplify the process while you're creating your business continuity plan. So let's get started in customizing. Your first step is understanding the real risk to your business. For example, in your operations, you want to ask yourself what type of hazard could interrupt my business for long enough to directly impact revenue. California is prone to many different natural disasters, and we have seen many of them here. with challenges and hazards. So when evaluating your risk, you should consider what are the potential threats to you locally, such as natural disasters. We talk about earthquakes and fires, extreme heat, severe weather, floods. So these are various tools that you could use. And here is a picture of FEMA. We leverage the FEMA National Risk Index. As you can see, a lot of red for the LA County area, and this is in comparison to the rest of the United States. And on the right-hand side, you can scroll and you will see the different types of disaster that LA County is more prone to and what you need to prepare for. And some of those, as we know, is wildfires, floods, earthquakes. Um, And don't forget about the man-made hazards as well. You want to prepare for that, such as terrorism, cyber attacks, supply chain issues. You want to assess the impact of these disasters and how each risk could affect your operations. And you want to prioritize risks based on the likelihood of impact. So, for example, even though a business is located in LA, if they rely on vendors from Central California, it's possible that their business will be indirectly impacted by a business disruption in another a part of the state. So when you want to consider potential threats to your area, ask yourself, where are the products and services made and sold? How do you normally receive these supplies from your key vendors? Um, what are the most crucial resources that you need to continue with operations and your processes? So figuring out your risk by reviewing again the National Risk Index tool that I just showed you. This tool will start with what the risk level is in your county, um, and give me a second. So once you find so also aside from the natural risk index tool, you could also find your local hazard mitigation plan, which is your city and your local hazard has a local hazard mitigation plan in place and available on their website. It could be either the city or the county, and they do have one. And a hazard mitigation plan presents a strategy for reducing the vulnerability of the city to the impacts of the hazards and helps prepare for those. So in this document, they have already done much of the work for you in identifying these hazards. It's a lengthy document, but it's very informative. So we looked through it and you know, we found that different areas in LA, you got to be prepared for certain disasters, right? Um, so once you find those risks, you want to put them down on Form 1 and rank your threats by probability and severity to get a total. So based on your total that you get anywhere from 17 to 25, you will need to prioritize those first. I added a 5 on probability and a 5 under severity under earthquake. For example, this is a business that we use as an example. So this will let them know that they will need to prioritize and prepare for an earthquake, right? So there are different types. There are different times when a business has unique risk. Don't forget about your unique risk as well. So, for example, being near a train track, or if your business uses any dangerous or heavy machinery or resources like toxic chemicals, you can also that could provide that can cause harm. You want to consider those and plan for those as well. So don't forget to put those on this form as well. Um, so now that we assessed our risks, let's talk about creating a communication plan. So an effective communication is crucial during a disruption. Um, During and after a business interruption, you will need to reach out to your employees before you can get your business back up and running. So it's important to collect your employees' contact information. So what kind of contact information should I collect for my employees? So to create this communication plan, you can use Form 2. Our contact information should detail for each employee. So you would use one form per employee. And it could include personal phone, home address, email, emergency contact, out of area contact. So make sure to document any other information about them that might be relevant, such as what are their key responsibilities for each of the employees, who's assigned a backup for each person, just in case the primary person is not able to make it to work. Does this person have any special skills or certifications? Does this person need accommodations? Do they need any medical devices? So having this information documented for all your employees is crucial in order to continue your business operation. And if it's only you as the sole worker and providing this for your own business, you want to have a reliable backup for yourself as well. So once you have your employee contact information, begin thinking about all your other key contacts, such as your community. Get to know your community. Every time there's a major disaster takes place, data has shown that before any help comes in, your community stands up for each other. Take the time to get to know the resources available in your community and identify the resources that you would be able to provide. So, for example, if it's a restaurant, um, and this restaurant relies heavily on a refrigerator, they would need to provide they would need a place to refrigerate their goods, so that they don't spoil. So who other in the community um, that has a refrigerator or has an extra generator to spare in case there's a power outage, right? And also, again, identify the resources that you're able to provide to somebody else in need. Also, your suppliers and vendors, you should have contact information for company representatives, offices, their account numbers. Make note of potential backups. Um, Utility companies, this list depends on location and industry. The most common are electricity, water, gas, internet, telephone. Your customers, uh, keep a comprehensive list of your customers. This allows you to maintain transparency during challenging times and keeps your customers informed of any disruption in your service. Um, Local emergency services. Identify key local authorities and agencies such as CalOES, the fire department, police, poison control. Local chambers of commerce also may be a good source of information during an emergency. Even if you're not a member, they could help you out. And the information that you provide here will become your crisis communication plan. So how do I receive emergency notifications, right? So look at apps that can alert you on of different events, such as My Shake app. Sign up for emergency text alerts from your local county. Cal Alerts is one, and also FEMA. Identify radio stations, local radio stations that provide emergency alerts in your area. Because remember, cell communication may be down, so keep a portable radio at your business location. And the reason we highlight the portable radio is because your community, again, is the first line of defense, and having a portable radio and knowing what station is available to give you that information when an emergency happens. So understand your operations. This is step 3. So know your business. You know your business inside and out. You should know what business processes generate the most revenue and prepare backup plans to keep these operations even in the face of the unexpected. So Form 4 will guide you to write down what those critical business processes are. We have operational process, which include manufacturing, distribution, customer service, sales process, which is lead generators, negotiating, product sales, supporting processes, which is human resources, accounting, IT, equipment, software, and management processes, which can include the strategic planning and budgeting. So, for example, let's say a restaurant is famous in the community for a specific menu item, an old fashioned meatloaf recipe, which they have identified to bring them the most revenue. The important thing of this for this business is to include in this section of their BCP, is to continue producing and selling the meatloaf and the different processes that come with it, making this particular meatloaf, um, and let go of any other items in their menu that do not bring on so much revenue. So just focusing on this main one that they know that brings more the most revenue to their business in the meantime, while they figure out what to how to remain open and how to stay open. So your business likely has many different types of processes in its operation. Some of these business processes are more important than others, um, and have obligations attached to them. So, and failing to execute these processes could negatively impact your business, making this process a higher priority. So, for example, um, examples of different obligations attached to these processes could be legal. It can be paying your employees, right? And you have the legal obligation to pay your employees if they go into your business and do this process. Um, Contractual deliveries. They have to pay the vendors that supply the meat for the meatloaf, for example. Um, Regulatory licenses, accreditations, permits, permitting, financial, which is account payables, and income tax payables, right? So your business will need to document these processes and also rank them in priority. This is why it's important to understand the details of your business processes and what are the consequences for not performing these actions. This will help you determine what processes are more critical to maintaining during your business interruption. All of your business processes require certain equipment and resources in order to continue operations, right? So, in addition to documenting uh, the business processes themselves, we also should document equipment. Focus on the specific equipment needed to perform the processes you just identified on the previous step. Document the make and model of each piece of your critical equipment. Where is it purchased, replacement costs, vendor contact information, warranty information. You want to document your IT equipment also. No matter the size of your business, you likely use IT in your day-to-day operations, even if it's just a cell phone or a laptop. Create an information technology inventory document, just to document all your critical computer hardware, the software that you use for your business, again, including the model numbers, warranty information, technical support contact numbers, and also include key contact information and licensing agreements for software application in case you need to reinstall those softwares. Vital records are critical to your business survival as well. You will need to ensure that certain vital business records are protected by securing them in a waterproof or fireproof containers, but also to be easily accessible. Some examples of these documents could include tax receipts, insurance policies, bank account information, deeds. Um, and for security, you can back up your records using the 321 backup rule, which is three copies, maintaining three copies of your data, one primary and two backups on two different media types. Store the backups on at least two different types of media, hardware or cloud. Um, and one offsite copy. Always keep one copy, backup copy, offsite for any disaster recovery. So now that we had assessed the risk analysis and taken a good look at the internals of your business, now we can plan for what to do if the worst happens, right? Although no one can prevent these events from happening, you can invest time and resources into mitigation actions. Our objective is to empower you with actionable steps to lessen the impact of potential disasters on your business. So Form 8 can help us achieve that, and we'll leverage the FEMA resources and research-based guidance on that, such as the FEMA protective actions, the hazard information sheets, as well as the ready.gov toolkits. And you can find all these toolkit links on our website. This provides practical and well-researched advice and practical actions for businesses to prepare, respond to, and recover from specific disasters. So while looking into this, we should consider what special building features does my business require? Every business is different and requires specific equipment and resources to accomplish their mission. So think about your current business location. If you can recreate a similar environment in another location. So, for example, if you require a cold storage, perhaps there's another location that has a cold storage that can help out in the time of need. Um, Also, look into keeping more inventory in stock. Consider that you might not be able to restock quickly if space is limited. Focus on the most valuable services to your customers and keep more resources in stock for the most profitable business process. Um, the actions you can take will vary. Some mitigation strategies may require minimal tools and can be implemented independently. However, for more complex measures, consulting with an engineer or a qualified professional might be necessary. So, again, our goal here is to equip you with the knowledge and the resources to implement these preventative measures that significantly reduce the impact of disruption on your business. And things to consider. There are other things you should be considering when you're trying to reduce the business disruptions. Um, Monitor, again, we talked about monitoring the inventory and the stock. Building up on your inventory and supplies uses used in essential processes. In the event of a business disruption, your supply chain may be impacted, and it may be hard to stock some supplies. So for more important processes that generate most revenue, again, you should have more of these supply in stock. So for this reason, keeping an accurate inventory is critically important to reducing business disruptions. And you also want to manage perishable stock. If your business keeps perishable stock on hand, do you have a special precautions to take to protect this inventory? So, for example, if power goes out, there's a potential contamination or spoilage. Do you have backup plans for this? How will you keep this perishable stock during an emergency situation, right? What is your facility? What about if your facility is damaged? Is there a temporary or alternate location that you could set up? For example, again, a restaurant temporarily operates a business out of their food truck, or if what about if my office is destroyed? I can work temporarily out of my house. And another example is two location. One is not damaged. Can can you run or can I run multiple product lines and additional shifts out of that facility that has not been impacted? And in addition, there should be document shutdown and startup plans. For example, your computer system, your refrigerator system, gas and utility. Do you have a chart or a map that shows where these emergency shut off valves are? And then you could contact a qualified safety professional for assistance as well in developing your shutdown and startup plan as well. A critical element of business resiliency is a realistic assessment of your current insurance and coverage. Most small businesses are underinsured, so you want to make sure you keep your insurance up to date and keep reassessing it as your business grows and changes. You must also take a detailed look at your finances to project how long your business is able to survive during a disruption. So, how do I assess my current level of insurance, right? All businesses should review their insurance coverage at least once a year. You should do it more often if you're in a high risk zone or if you had made any major changes to your business operations. Um, for example, we've heard many stories. We have heard, excuse me, we have heard many stories of businesses not being insured or not covering their equipment, but they thought it was. So talk to your insurance broker. They should be able to keep you up to date with your insurance coverage. And you could also find the Small Business Insurance Guide on their website. This guide informs on the types of insurance you might want to consider. Um, and and it will go over common terminology used in the insurance industry. So the Department of Insurance also has an outreach team that could help you, business owners, to understand the insurance coverage available to them. Financial preparedness is critical for an emergency as well. I won't go too much into detail as we have. Uh, oh no, excuse me. Let me just go to the next page actually. So, how do I assess my current level of insurance, right? All businesses, no matter the size, should review their insurance policy at least once a year, as I mentioned. If you're located in a high risk, you want to do it more often. The place to start, again, is your broker or agent. And um, you could find all these links, the California Department of Insurance business guide in our website as well, and it's easy to navigate. Let me see. Um, excuse me, I think I went. Okay, so when preparing for financial preparedness for emergency, we talked about the insurance. Now let's talk about the financial preparedness. Um, as we know, financial preparedness starts with knowing which obligations take priority, which bills need to be paid first. For example, your payroll and your insurance are high priority because if you don't pay your insurance, it lapses, and if you don't pay your employees, they will not be showing up for work. So having an emergency fund will be your financial safety net. Establishing emergency cash funds or a line of credit to ensure access to these funds when needed, and calculate how much money your business will need to survive a 3, 10, or even a 30-day shutdown. Assign somebody trustworthy to have access um, to it, and decide how the money will be used in specific scenarios if you're not available. And in addition, consider alternate payment methods like cash or in case the debit or credit cards don't work during an emergency, you have the cash a reliable form. Also consider backup and payroll plans to continue to pay your employees. Backup plans such as a secondary vendor or a cloud-based system or even a simple checkbook in hand will help. And this is necessary in case you lose your computer or don't have access to the internet, right? So use Form 9 that we see here to help you evaluate your insurance and finances. Document it here. Um, it'll help you understand your risk and identify potential financial consequences of various disruptions. And this form helps evaluate the protective measures you need. For example, prioritizing your financial obligations, developing a plan to prioritize essential financial commitments during a disaster, right? And also payroll consideration, exploring again a cloud based payroll system for uninterrupted service. And plan how long you can continue paying your employees during a disruption. If revenue is not coming in, you know that how much time or how many days you could continue paying your employees when they come in. When it comes to disaster recovery and financial records, having a well organized financial system streamlines the application process for disaster loans should you need them in the future. And if you do lose your documentation, there's state agencies that could help you get those copies. Look into your financial implications of your business process as well. The prioritized business. Revisit the prioritized business processes. Are there any financial obligations associated with these? Develop plans to fulfill these obligations and how you will pay, right? So how can you get disaster relief assistance? So before we can start talking about disaster assistance, we wanted to know that first you play a huge role in getting resources to your area. Resources are not released until there is enough data of damage and property loss. So if a disaster does occur, make sure that you report any damages to your local county government and emergency personnel. A federal disaster is only declared when there is a significant amount of damage caused by the event. Your local government reports these damages to the state. The state asks the president and for any financial disaster declarations. So it's very important to report your damages to help your community. So once a disaster is declared, this opens up funding to get back up and running, and some of that funding comes through FEMA. As an individual assistance, FEMA individual assistance program is designed to help disaster survivors with basic critical needs such as a safe, sanitary, and functional place to live, while survivors look for long-term and permanent housing. SBA has physical damage loans to repair the physical damage caused to your facility. SBA also has the economic injury loan for economic losses you have experienced related to the disaster. And then SBA also has a mitigation assistance here. You have the option when you get a SBA loan to increase that loan up to 20% for a specific purpose of hazard mitigation. So not only will SBA help you with the funds to rebuild after disaster, but they will help you to get those funds you need to prevent for future disasters. And there's also many state agencies that could also help with that. Mm. So creating a meticulous crafted plan is only as effective as the real world application. So practice with various scenarios like a fire, a power outage, or a flood. Regular testing through drills and simulations is very important. Um, it helps identify weakness, help uncover areas in your plan that require improvements or additional resources. It also ensures employees are comfortable with their roles and responsibilities during the disruption. Make sure your employees are regularly trained and take part of the drills. So how would these drills look like, right? So if it's a fire, let's simulate a fire. Employees could or should know how to use a fire extinguisher and evacuate the building safely. For a power outage, practice taking inventory procedures by using a flashlight or locating a generator. For water shortage, for example, run a drill on closing the restaurant if the water supply is compromised. Simulate using disposable plates, utensils, um, or just following up proper sanitation procedures for limited water use. So um, I will put there's also CalOSHA, which is, you could find that link also in our website. And I could put it here once I'm done with this presentation. And it sends you to CalOSHA, which they have a lot of model programs and sample plans that you can use in different business scenarios. And don't forget to be your to build your business emergency kit in addition to your basic emergency supplies such as water, batteries, enough food for your employees, for yourself. Keep all your business continuity forms we discussed here and all the documents that go with it, such as your equipment manuals, your critical documents. Don't forget photos is very important, especially when um, uh, opening up a claim with insurance, receipts of your equipment. Keep all of this together, and that will become um, your business emergency kit. And it's important to update your plan every 6 months or every time, again, that there is a major change in your business operations. And with that, we've gone over all the 6 steps, including all the forms you see here. So by joining us today, you have completed a review of your customized basic business continuity plan. Make sure it includes all these checks and all these forms that they're completed, and keep it up to date. Ensure your components, just to ensure all your components of your BCP work seamlessly. um, and and that you need and if you need to continue to improve it, um, don't forget also PCR SBDC here. Colette and her team is available to help you one-on-one if you need help creating your business continuity plan. Definitely give her a call to set up an appointment, and she could definitely help you with that. And we love to feature your business as part of our resilient business series. Once you completed your resiliency roadmap, let us know. Email us at our website. You see here, outsmartdisaster@gobiz.ca.gov. We would like to highlight that. And thank you so much. Thank you so much for your time. Um, and here is my direct contact information. If you have any questions, Stephanie is our specialist here in Southern California. If you have any other questions about your small business, definitely give her a contact. But when it comes to resiliency and disaster preparedness, here's my direct contact. Our website is here, and we're here to help you. Don't go at it alone, as we say, right? So I think Colette, don't know if you have anybody has. Not sure we're taking questions now or till the end, right?
Yes, and thank you so much, Susanna. I don't know for those of you that might be new, actually looking at the disasters and interruption. When I first had a presentation myself with Susanna, and you guys, I was scared. I was like, "Oh my God, we're all gonna crash and burn!" But going through this process just reminded me we're not going to be scared. We're going to be prepared, right? So it's all about the preparation piece. And for those that are listening now, the question is, what interruption have you had? Even in the last 30 days, think about your own business. Did you have water damage? A sink overflowed. Happened recently. My daughter and her the daycare provider, they had a busted pipe. They couldn't bring kids in for the whole day. So all the parents were home with the kids trying to figure it out. And so those are the types of things they were able to bring them the next day. But what happened if that was out for 5 days or 7 days or things like that? So think about your own business. What have you already faced? And I'm sure all of you had, from your internet being down, your phone not working, you can't call your clients. What are your plans now? And make sure that you expand these, because we definitely want to be prepared in the process. So, one of the things I was thinking is, Susanna, this is a whole long list. Is there anything that you would recommend that they first do? What's that first step? Is it just the assessment of what disruption? Is that the first thing that everyone should do?
Yeah, I think looking at your unique risk, as you mentioned, we all have disasters in our businesses. So just assessing what risk is more prone to happen in my businesses, and how is that going to impact? Am I going to be able to remain open or not? So
Yeah.
that would be the question. If it's not, then let's find a way to get your financials in order and place, and see how long you're able to, stay open or remain closed, actually. So, it's just a matter of doing that first, assessing your risks.
What the risk is. And
Hmm.
one of the things that Suzanne also mentioned is bouncing back. And my concern is that if we're not prepared, if you don't bounce back quick, you may not bounce back. So it's critical. This is not an optional activity for us to be prepared in a disaster, because bouncing back is the critical thing. The longer you stay closed, the longer you're likely to stay closed. So what is that in your business that's going to help you to bounce back quickest? And I think that's kind of the thing. What's that thing that's going to get you, selling whatever product or service that you have been selling, or possibly to pivot? We all saw during the pandemic, people had to pivot. And so think about those pivots that you might need to make as well. But you got to bounce back doing something quickly, and so that you can bounce back. And we've just seen too many folks not bouncing back. And we want all of our small businesses to survive and come back and potentially be stronger. To be stronger afterwards. So, thank you so much, Susanna, for sharing
Thank
all of
you.
this great information. We had one other thing that we wanted to share, because in some cases, you may not have missed the disaster. And so, one of the things we wanted to talk about was disaster recovery from the fire. So, those slides we're going to show you now. PCR, let me make sure. PCR, hopefully, you are seeing the slide there.
They're not up yet. They're not up
Okay,
there,
here we go.
Colette.
Thank you. Let me get that for you. So we wanted to move from not just preparation, but also recovery, because so many businesses were impacted by the fires here in Southern California and the Pasadena, Altadena area, the Palisades and Malibu area. And so we want businesses to be able to continue to move forward and not be stuck. So it's been more than 6 months after the fire now. What does that look like? How do you need to reassess your financial position? And this is for everyone. If you are preparing, then that means that your business will be more resilient and more steady. So you will have money available set aside maybe to be out. And what if your business is closed for 30 days? What can you do? What have you planned to do? Do you have money set aside that could be used, and you already know how you might be able to use that? But for businesses that have been impacted, let's reassess your financial situation. Where are you now? How can we strengthen your operations? Maybe you pivoted, but it's time to pivot again. So where you were right after the fire, it's not necessarily where you have to stay. What about your marketing? I've seen some of the businesses that are still in business after these fires, but you can't really find them. Their Google search is not very strong. And so we want to be able to assist you to recover. Marketing is a key part of that. And are you working with the right groups? Do you have any legal matters that you need to address? And then how can you continue to prepare for long-term resilience? So what is your plan going forward? And now putting this plan into place could be really, really helpful. We actually have a checklist here that can help, how to reassess, that you would go through with an advisor. And we would want you to kind of go through this, and let's make sure that you're on the right track and put that plan together for now after the fire. This isn't grab your loved ones and your pets and run. This is actually now trying to stay open and stay open with fruitfulness and going forward, so that you can maintain and actually have profitability going forward. So with that, we want you to meet with a core advisor. If you do not have an advisor with the SBDC, with either PCR or any of the other ones, please set up a time. I'll have a link here so that you can set up time for this no-cost one-on-one advising to help you to move forward, to help you put your plan together for resiliency, get your insurance, get your finances together, know what your risks are, put them down, have your money together so that you can bounce back and bounce back strong. There have been links that have been placed in as well. So we want you to make sure that those are available to you and that you're clicking through. And then the question is, what are you going to do first now to prepare for business interruption? So Susanna mentioned one area where you might pursue is knowing what your risks are and then understanding how to be prepared for those. So maybe that's the first one. Maybe you've already done that. You know what your risks are, but you need to make sure you know how you're going to communicate with your clients and your staff in case of an emergency. So you want to put a communication plan together. You want to make sure that your financials are together. And that doesn't mean putting money in a safe and digging it in the ground, because we've heard from some of our banker friends that a lot of money burned up during the fires. And so what else will you do to prepare? We know that you all can do it. We know that you are capable. You are making your businesses thrive now. Get prepared for this future so that you can move forward in a stronger way in case of disaster. We thank you all for joining us today. I believe Lizette with LA Public Library is going to come back on and give you parting words. Please register with PCR and the SBDC. Also, get your plan together and let us help you. We can walk through this plan with you in one-on-one advising. We also have insurance specialists on board as well. We've just started doing that because we saw the gap in what I'll call the black hole of understanding insurance. As a former business owner, I was like, what? What does that mean? So we do have, we've been doing workshops in that area, and we also can do one-on-one advising to help you as part of demystifying how what insurance is going to be needed, and finding that right agent that's going to help you and prepare you best for the future. Congratulations for those that have completed your plans already. Please let us know if you have. And for those that have not, we're here to work with you for your business resiliency. It's not an option. And we know that you can go forth and improve your businesses and be prepared for any emergency. So with that, we thank you, and we'll turn it over to Lizette.
Yeah, thank you, Colette. So actually, I just have a quick question. Now that you're talking about the risks and the plans, so moving forward, is the plan having the list in the plan? Is that going to be something like r- maybe required by the lenders so that they know that the business is prepared now moving forward in case there's an emergency or something happens, that the business is now knowing that they are prepared if something happens, like
I
how for
Yeah,
housing,
yeah,
how
I think it
housing.
helps.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
I
Because
think I think it helps. Bankers, when they're looking to lend, though, they are looking for the financials. So the first concern is always, how are you going to pay us back? And so
yeah.
any lender would be happy to know that this is their plan in an emergency to make sure that obligations are met. So it certainly does not hurt, I think, for a business to be able to share that with their lender and to even put that in their plan, that they do have a disaster recovery plan. Because we all live here in Southern California. We know that disaster is somewhere, is somewhere coming, and so the bankers would be excited about that, I think, as well. I think, and also if you go through the process and you have the insurance, because that is one of the things that bankers also want is part of their lending process.
Hmm.
So you have your financials together, and I think that this process helps you to put your financials in order so that you can weather these disruptions.
Okay. Yeah. Because I was thinking about it. I'm like, this wouldn't be such a bad idea if you started as a business and you're getting things together to have the plan set up. So
Yeah,
when you do talk to someone and say, hey, by the way, I already have my risk plan. So I'm kind of prepared in case something happens. I'm
yeah,
sort of ahead of the game.
yeah. I think it's a great discussion to have. And if you have done that, that means you've already done your homework and your business is going to be further ahead.
Hmm. Hmm. Oh, and then let me bring Susanna on board here because I do have a question for her as well. So, Susanna, so I know you put a lot of information out there and it's very long and detailed.
Very, yes, a lot of
um,
resources.
yes. So, for the patrons, and of course for those who are looking at the information, and I know you said your information is out there, and I know a lot of people who, because we get patrons who call us, and they're like, there's no one to reach out to. We get just the robocalls or just a robot, or is there really a person on the other end to help them? Maybe if they have questions regarding any of these forms. Just my quick question.
Yeah. Yeah, so definitely there's a lot of information and resources. You have my direct email. I'm the one of the faces of Outsmart Disaster, but
Yeah.
also we rely a lot with our partner, like as with Colette at PCR SBDC. They're able to
Mm.
help you one on one with this,
Okay.
going along each step. It just depends where you're at on it, but
Mhm.
because I do cover the whole California, so it's a little bit harder for us to narrow it down just to a specific location. So that's why
Okay.
we rely on partners like Colette to help you one on one here in your location, to help you with that. So
Okay. Just want to
yeah,
make sure that they don't feel like they're,
no,
stressed with all the paperwork and they're trying to figure things out, and that there is someone or an organization out there that can help them with the one-on-one.
yeah,
And
definitely.
then just out of curiosity, I know because of all the disasters that tend to happen here in California with the fires, was there, just if out of curiosity, if you guys would know, was there a huge number that of businesses that were not prepared? I mean, based on the fires that just, I mean,
Yes, and Susanna and I have both we've been working on assisting as best we can those businesses up in the Altadena area, but um, some of those businesses, they've had to move. Some have pivoted. I've seen a restaurant burned, but they joined with another restaurant to provide coffee, and so they develop partnerships. So but many businesses will struggle and individuals will struggle, and there's high complexity when things are burned and destroyed, to try to recover those things. And so, and it's typically not something that is part of a business's everyday activity to do. So they have to learn some new things to be able to work through the systems and the grants that are available and the loans that might be available. Susanna mentioned the SBA loans that are available for the disaster areas. And those are things that PCR and the SBDC can help you navigate through, because it is a stressful time. There may be requirements that you've never had to fulfill before. And so we can assist you in that process and hope to ease that burden a little bit for the businesses that had no insurance or were not able to open back in their locations.
So before we go, what's maybe the last piece of advice that you would give a small business?
Go ahead.
I would say start today. This is an urgent call. It's an urgent call for preparation. We've seen disasters happen here in the Southern California area. It's an urgent call, and it's something that we can all do. I went and bought my radio, for example. I've signed up for all of the emergency alerts. We are going to be upgrading our own PCR disaster and recovery plan to make sure that it is current. And so this is an urgent call, but I believe that if you take this on with urgency, it will help your traditional business and your regular business operations. So should not be an afterthought. It should be an integrated part of what you do. And I believe that every business that takes this work on will improve their regular day-to-day business as they look at their operations and build their operations and create that resiliency to be able to pay people, to be able to get supplies and all of those types of things. So I believe that this is an urgent call, and I hope that small businesses will take on this call and help to build their business and prepare themselves.
Yeah, yeah, I echo that. I just start somewhere. Start somewhere. We try to simplify this as much as possible with different steps. It just depends on where you're at. Every business is going to be in different situations.
Mm-hmm.
Those that went through the fire just recently, they're going to be past the insurance claims and assessing their risk and all that. But look at your operations. Start at your operations. Look how you're going to pivot. Look what you need to do now if you're trying to get your customers back. Look at the communications section of it. So it's just these steps we have them in order for just to simplify and make it easier for somebody to start somewhere, like step 1, step 2. But it just depends where you're at, where your business is at. You might not need 1 or 2 because, as Colette said, you already know your risk. So now what are you going to do with step 3 and so forth? So it's just starting somewhere, just getting down and starting somewhere. And don't do it by yourself. Colette and her team is here just because it does get overwhelming. I know there was a lot of information that I gave and it gets overwhelming. At the same time, it's just like same information over and over, but it's just start somewhere, get to know, PCR team and get in there and just starting.
Okay. And on my end, I do want to add one piece that's important. I know we kind of take it for granted, and you mentioned it, Susanna, of having your information spread out in areas. And for us, and as a homeowner, it's also mentioned always to have your paperwork pretty much in different areas. So, and of course, for us as having your information in a USB key, and maybe a safe deposit box, so your documents and your information. So I know that the library was present at some of the sites with computers and printers. So I know small businesses, I know this is not probably on your mind, and with the whole internet fiasco thing that happened on Monday, keep in mind a USB key, small they may be, but you can always keep it somewhere and you can always carry that with you. So I know that's something that you can always download documents to. So always keep that in mind, as well as something that you can always move around and keep with you wherever you may be the case. So it's a very small piece of advice.
Excellent advice.
So there is that. So again, I want to thank Colette and Susanna. Thank you again for bringing and imparting a lot of information for small businesses that you may not think is going to happen, but eventually and sadly it does. So please keep this information in mind. And just like they tell us about the fires and earthquake, your business may not be impacted today, but sometime in the future it will. So like Colette said, start today. Think about these important steps that you need to take to help your risk assessment. And hopefully when it does happen, God forbid that it doesn't, you will be prepared to move forward and move quickly. So again, thank you so much for being with us today. I apologize for the snafu at the beginning, but I kept hearing another voice in my head. so, so hopefully it looks like it went well. And I just want to say again, thank you, everyone. The program, once I end the stream, it will be recorded on our YouTube's channel. So if you want to go back and review any of the information, see some of the links, it will all be there on the library's YouTube channel. If you want to share the link as well, you can just copy and paste and send it to your friends. It will all be there as another important resource for you to share. Thank you again. And keep in mind any of the future workshops that Colette mentioned and that Susanna's on their government website. All right. Thank you so much and have a great afternoon.
Thank you.
Thank you. Take care, everyone.